Hello, and thank you for joining us on our journey of 1,000 pages. I am your host, Anty, with my co-host, Christina.
Hello there.
What book have we read this month?
This month, we read a banned book by the name of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is pretty much a classic. It's set in future America, where a totalitarian force has taken over the government and turned America into the Republic of Gilead. It's a dystopian future where fertility rates have plummeted, and the solution in this society is to commodify fertile women.
It's a very uncomfortable book, I will say that.
Yes. I feel like most people kind of know the story of The Handmaid's Tale at this point. It's a popular TV show on Hulu. Like
6-something seasons. I don't know how you get 6 seasons out of a less than 300-page book, but they have done it.
There is a sequel.
There is a sequel, which was written after the TV show started coming out.
So anyway, the story that we read centers on the character who is known as Offred, as in of Fred. That is the name of the guy that owns her, basically. The commander.
We know him as the commander.
Commander.
Is it stated specifically that all the handmaids are like of Fred, of Warren? Okay, I don't remember that, and I didn't notice this with like the names, and I think it's because I read a lot of fantasy books where I just kind of skip over the names because they're gibberish, and I go, he starts with an A, he's got vibes.
You didn't notice that like all the handmaids are known as of something?
Nope.
Cool.
I just thought it was weird names.
Yeah, it's all like of Glenn, of Warren, of whatever.
Of Fred.
I'm sure there's other examples, but I know for a fact there wasn't an of Jason or something.
No, that would be too obvious.
But anyway.
So we chose a banned book because September is Banned Books Month. And also because we wanted an excuse just to pick a random book, because every book has been banned somewhere.
What we mean by the definition of banned, I think when people hear the book has been banned, they're like, oh no, it's forbidden and no one's ever allowed to read it. Maybe the term is a little misleading. What is typically meant by that is that access has been limited or prohibited in certain areas. So it may have been challenged in the sense of people don't want it easily accessible in school libraries in general. They want it age restricted, etc.
I mean, I don't think it's any governing body's duty to be censoring this stuff, but I also get it. Like, there are very heavy themes in here.
I was gonna say, I don't know where you fall on the whole should books be quote unquote banned.
No.
What about school libraries? Should The Handmaid's Tale, just as a very provocative example, should The Handmaid's Tale be in like an elementary school?
No.
I agree, but I also don't think it's intended for that audience. Anybody knows this is an adult audience, or at least older teens.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, kids should still have access to a regular public library where this book is available.
Yes, I do understand in the recent years it has been challenged in like Texas and Idaho in terms of removing it from school libraries. And I kind of understand that, because a school library, the audience is restricted to whatever age group of children attend that school.
Sure.
Versus the public library is for everyone, and, it's on their parents if they check out The Handmaid's Tale and they're 10 years old.
There's a bunch of reasons this has been banned various places.
Or just generally challenged. It's the stuff you expect from most banned books lists.
Yeah.
There's profanity, there's sexual content, there's anti-Christian / anti-religious themes. Mm-hmm. Or one of them I even saw, the fact that there is a character that is LGBTQ is one of the reasons it was challenged.
It's mentioned. There's not like a sex scene in there, but it's mentioned that she's into women.
Like a couple times. It's not like it's quote unquote on screen. But yes, apparently the book has been challenged for that as well, that there is the existence of a gay character.
How dare they?
Let's talk about some of the actual content of the book. First off, one of the challenges, I'm going to just move the profanity thing aside. Yes.
There's profanity.
It's not over the top.
No.
It's not all the time.
No.
They do say the F word and some other stuff several times.
Didn't even notice. That's a problem.
But there is quite a bit of sexual content,
Sure.
as you would expect.
I mean, we're following Offred throughout this. She's a handmaid who, if you are not familiar with the story, they, as Christina stated, they're basically breeding slaves. They are women who are designated, their sole purpose is to get pregnant and have babies. They're specifically assigned to people in authority, the commanders who have wives, and there's this really creepy thing where the wives sit next to them while they're boning, and the wives sit next to them while they're pushing a baby out, but all the wives hate them.
Yeah, basically that is straight from a perverted reading of the Old Testament story of Jacob and Rachel and her handmaid Bilhah, because Rachel in the biblical story, Rachel was unable to have a child, and so she gave her handmaid Bilhah to Jacob and was like, hey, you guys do it, but then when she has a kid, it's mine. And so this has now become the foundation of this very patriarchal, perverted society.
Yes.
Where, to be fair, there is a declining birth rate. Actually having healthy children at all is very rare.
Well,
what?
Okay. We are told that some babies do not make it past the tests, and they basically just have to kill these babies. And it's given it under the guise of they are, birth defects and all that stuff, whatever it may be. But this is a dystopian patriarchal society that already has a lot of religious influences. So yeah, I don't think it'd be, unreasonable that they're going all Sparta on this.
Which is wild because on the flip side, like the handmaids, their lives are very strictly controlled in what they are allowed to do and not do. Like they're not allowed to consume alcohol or smoke. Their diet is very strictly prescribed to make sure that they're getting enough nutrients because it's trying to optimize the possibility of conception. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird and uncomfortable.
But that's the point. That's the point of a dystopian fiction.
I honestly thought reading it that the sexual content is not that graphic.
It's not graphic, but the writing is very well done. That, like you said, it's not graphic, but it is still very uncomfortable. It's very clear what is occurring, but it's written in a way that is truly, it's unsettling and uncomfortable and not the least titillating. Right. And I mean, that's the whole point, right? You're not supposed to get off reading this book and be like, If you do read this book and you find it titillating, you should probably go talk to somebody. That's not healthy. Do some self-reflection. Yes. No, but that's the unsettling nature of this book is something that I loved throughout the whole thing. Like I said before, like the point of dystopian fiction is to unsettle you, to look at the world around you, take it to its extreme, and say, hey, if we don't fix this, here's a potential future we could be facing. And the problem is with certain books like 1984, Fahrenheit 451, they're written like garbage. I censored myself. Are you proud of me? Yes. Thank you. They are written terribly. Let's be honest. They are garbage to read. They do not flow well. And some of it is intentional, obviously, to get that unsettling nature. But this is the first dystopian fiction, truly like a commentary kind of fiction. I don't mean like a YA dystopia. Yeah. This is the first one that I've actually been invested in reading beyond I'm supposed to be getting some kind of lesson out of this. I think that's a great point because you're right. Like I have read Fahrenheit 451, 1984, Brave New World, Animal Farm, like all of these classic dystopian titles. And they suck. They're boring to read. It's like you have to focus on the ideas that are trying to be shared. Because they are good ideas. They are good ideas and it is important concepts. It's just conveyed in like the worst vehicle possible. Yes. The way it's written. And you're right. Like from page 1, I was invested in this just purely because of the way she writes. It flows well. It's enigmatic at times. It very much feels like the character's thoughts and feelings because it is from the first person perspective. Yes. But we are constantly bouncing back and forth between the present day and the past. And it's not super clear when that transition takes place. There's like a font change sometimes. There's a lot of grammatic inaccuracies here, which leads to this where, we are following a woman who is not allowed to read or write, basically. Yes. She does the no quotation marks thing much better than Cormac McCarthy ever did, because Cormac McCarthy's an idiot. I have opinions.
You do.
I think one of the things I'm most impressed with is something we have discussed outside of the podcast, and we may have mentioned this on the podcast, but world building, I think it is difficult to get the audience to be asking the right questions in order to be invested in this world. And there's a lot of books where I get really frustrated because I don't have the world building, but they are also books that are like telling me, okay, there's a bunch of rules that this world follows, and you need to know all of these rules in order for the changes in these rules to be effective as a storytelling device, basically. Whereas in this book, we have a lot of implications that she was drugged throughout her training, that a lot of these handmaids are kind of sedated, and, you know, their minds are influenced outside of just living through this. And I think that leans into the fact that because we were coming at it from her perspective and she does not know everything that's going on, that makes me as the reader more invested in her finding out what is going on, even though we don't get all the answers, which annoys me because I want to know how the world works.
Yeah.
I want to know.
But that's part of why the book is good, because it stops and it doesn't over-explain itself, and it leaves some things mysterious.
I am not usually a fan of shorter books. I do like my books to be long and bloated, but I think this was also the perfect length for this story. It's the main story is about 297 pages. I know you read the historical notes afterwards.
Yes, the historical notes being an addition that it's set a couple hundred years later in the form of a speech by a professor of Caucasian studies who is really the author of The Handmaid's Tale, that it's him recounting how he discovered Offred's tale, her story, recorded on a whole bunch of cassette tapes that were all mixed together and in a house that was part of the underground female road. Really hate that name, but, you know, the idea is there. That one's a little on the nose.
Just a little bit.
Basically, he and one of his colleagues had to take the tapes and reorder them and then transcribe them. And the result is The Handmaid's Tale. But it's a lot of academic meanderings after that, which is why I was like, I'll just tell you that bit and leave the academic stuff aside, which is part of the point, but we don't need to get into that.
I wanted to note that one of the qualms a lot of people have with this book is the feminist man-hater nature of some parts of it. And there is a lot of anger towards men in this book. But I believe Margaret Atwood has said it's not a specifically feminist book. Regardless of all of that, I don't think, from my perspective, as a man reading it, I don't think it's a particularly feminist book. I think it is a book exploring the fears that a lot of women faced, especially at the time this was written, too. Reproductive rights are still something that we're fighting about. Because of the time she grew up, like, I know we did a little bit of research before this, and you said...
So, Margaret Atwood, she was born in 1939. She lived through the end of World War II. As she was a kid. She also was born in Canada, by the way. I was looking up just a little bit about, like, Canadian history. Like, okay, when were women allowed to get a credit card if they were unmarried? When were women allowed to vote? When were women allowed to have a bank account? And some of these things, like, she would not have been allowed to open her own credit card until she was 26. She would not have been able to... I think it was like sign for a house or something until she was 35. So this is her history that she lived.
So it's reasonable the anger towards men in this book. Yes. It makes perfect sense. It does annoy me the fact that there's not a single man in there who's written with a single brain cell. They're all idiots. They're all sex-crazed idiots, which, yes, it annoys me. But to be fair, most men are. Just being honest.
So... From the perspective of the life experiences of the author combined with the world that she had created, the whole story is from a feminine perspective. I mean, yeah, if you're basically a sex slave, your perspective on men is not going to be great.
Yeah, it does make perfect sense.
Most of the brash feminist points in here are specific characters.
And there's even some of those characters that she criticizes in the book.
I think it is more nuanced
I 100% agree.
I know when it was published, I read one thing that said it was hailed as a feminist 1984.
I get why, though. Mm-hmm. Like, because the body rights, I just want to say.
Yeah.
Like, it is. That is a huge debate, and the thing that the fears that the world would turn into what the world of The Handmaid's Tale are completely reasonable. Just like the fears when you read 1984 and you realize that, oh, we have the thought police in our pockets every day. That's the point of these books.
Yes.
You're supposed to be angry and uncomfortable at the content here.
In the introduction, Margaret Atwood, she addresses some of this, the criticisms that people have thrown at the book of like, oh, did you mean it to mean this? Or is this a prediction for society or whatever? As someone who, again, was born during World War II and then lived through, the Cold War and all of that and all the craziness of the 80s, which is when this was published, her point was she wanted to tackle the very American perspective of it can't happen here. Totalitarian societies, that can't happen here because this is America and we're special and we're different. And that's just something that happens in Europe or Asia or like the rest of the world. So she wanted to tackle that idea, and she specifically wanted to look at power. In the introduction that she wrote, when our particular copy was republished in 2017, and she said that it was a study of power and how it operates and how it deforms or shapes the people who are living within that kind of regime.
I think that's entirely fair.
It just gets misinterpreted by people.
As, again, just coming from my own experiences, is I understand having that kind of volatile, angry response towards feminism. Because personally growing up with third wave feminism, where all men are trash, I've grown up in a culture that has said, I'm a piece of for existing. And I understand, there are times when I have to catch it in myself, too, of being like, okay, is this an idea, like specifically when it's feminism, when it's presented, is this an idea that I truly disagree with and think is too extreme, or am I just reacting emotionally from my own hurts from the past? And I think most people don't do that while they read or find new ideas.
I mean, it's hard.
It is, absolutely. And sometimes it's not till way later that you're like, wait a second.
I know why I reacted that way now.
Yes.
It's true. Considering The Handmaid's Tale as a study of power also leads us to one of the other reasons that this book has been repeatedly banned and challenged, being the anti-Christian, anti-religion, allegedly. The world that she has depicted is, future America, super patriarchal, totalitarian. It is a theocracy, but it's based on a perversion of biblical texts and also a perversion of our Puritan roots in America. Like I said, the perverted reading of the biblical story of Jacob and Rachel and Bilhah, like being taken literally. This is a dictate from God. If you can't have a child, you just enlist this fertile woman as a substitute so that you can fulfill the command to be fruitful and multiply. Not
that that's a bad thing when it's consensual. Because, different. It starts with an S. What's it called?
Surrogacy?
Surrogacy. Yes, I'm absolutely here for that. There's a consensual nature to that. Not you have to wear a red robe and blinders and you can't look at anybody.
And you can't drink coffee or read anything.
No, reading's a sin. Women shouldn't read.
What's interesting is Margaret Atwood has obviously said, again, this is a study of power. This is not meant to be anti-Christian. The villains in this story, they are not Christian. They are depicting a perverted version of Christianity, but in the book, they talk about how they're wiping out other Christian denominations like Baptists, Catholics, Quakers, any Christian denomination that doesn't get in line with the new regime. The Jews are given an option of convert or get shipped off to wherever. And it does reveal in the historical notes that some of those boats just sailed out into the Atlantic and dumped people and didn't actually didn't actually take them, back to Europe or back to wherever. They dismiss African Americans completely. There's one or two sentences where they're just like, the children of Ham are wiped out, basically.
Nice. Good old genocide.
Yeah. But yeah, she said that like this is not a critique of Christianity or religion in general. What it is a critique of is the people who use Christianity and religion as a front for tyranny.
Right.
Which is very relevant to our modern society. And that is all I'm going to say.
Anyways, we should go on to our ratings.
4 stars!
I also give it 4 stars.
Whoa!
It's crazy. We've never matched before with our stars.
We agree.
Why 4 stars? Why not 5?
I never give 5 stars to hardly anything. I have given 5 stars to like Lord of the Rings, and that might be it.
Seriously?
No, I'm sure I've given 5 stars to a few other things, but I am
You've probably given 5 stars to some classic you're supposed to give 5 stars to.
Absolutely not. Part of it is that I'm just stingy. I genuinely had another reason, and I can't remember what it is.
That's fine.
This book is just so unsettling. It's kind of like I've been reading this, and I've told people that I'm reading it, and when they ask, how is it? I don't know how to respond, because normally I would say, oh, I love it, because I'm really enjoying reading this book, but that seems wrong when it is a book about what it is about. It's very well done, but it's also very creepy and unsettling.
Sure.
So let's just say 4 stars for now.
That's fair.
Why did you only give it 4 stars?
Because I want to know more about the world. That's the only reason. I want to know about the angels and the eyes and how their hierarchies work and what they do to the people they take. I want to know all of these specifics. I want to know about the currency. I want to know what the commanders are in command of. I want to know why these guys got picked to be commanders. How did we get to this world that we're in? What cataclysmic thing happened?
I can answer one cataclysmic thing.
Yes.
Witches.
Witches?
No.
There were the witches came back?
No. They machine gunned Congress.
Cut that out, please. Please cut that out. Please.
I totally understand you wanting to know more about this world, though, because I had a lot of the same questions. She can't tell you. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, because we are limited to Offred's perspective, we can't know.
Yeah.
She's not going to know what the commander does or where do people disappear to. It's the same thing of when she, has flashbacks to her time in the re-education center before she became an official handmaid. There were women who were taken away for a time and tortured, ? But how? ? And then they were just like returned. And it might be they were like limping or their mind was a little addled, but we don't know what happened because Offred doesn't know, which also to me is part of what makes it so unsettling, because you like know something happened, but what? So there's a big coup, but how did we get from we killed a bunch of people to this is the way that society is?
Right.
We don't know. We have tiny little snippets and nothing else.
Yes.
We have more, again, from Offred's perspective of like little flashbacks of the transition of, her going and trying to buy a pack of cigarettes and her card declining. And she's like, I have money, only to find out that.
Do all the daughters become handmaids?
Some of them become wives. There's a scene towards the end of.
I remember with the angels.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the angels being basically soldiers who have been. They're being gifted daughters.
14-year-olds, it does specify.
Yeah, some of them are as young as 14, but they are fertile, and so they are being married in this group ceremony.
I hate describing a woman as fertile.
Especially
after reading this book.
This book is so uncomfortable. So it's weird that we've given it 4 stars, but
it's a good book, though. It's well written.
Not because it's fun, but because it's good.
Yes. Do you have any recommendations for this month?
I do. I consume so much content, I'm realizing. So I watched a really great miniseries. It's called Say Nothing, and it is set during the Troubles in Northern Ireland, which are roughly from like the 60s through the 90s. It's all the stuff with like the IRA versus the British, trying to throw off British rule and reunite Ireland as one nation. So all the scheming and bombing and murders and whatnot. It's told through the perspective of like 2 young women that were part of the IRA. So it's kind of like a docudrama in that these are all historical people.
Sure.
some of whom are still alive today, because again, this only ended in like 1998. So it hasn't been that long ago. It's very good. It's very gripping. It is, of course, very one-sided because it's only focused on the Irish perspective, not the British perspective. I knew absolutely nothing about that time in history, and I am very interested and would like to learn more. So check out Say Nothing. It's on Hulu right now.
Nice.
What about you?
I have consumed nothing except Magic the Gathering videos and lore dumps for video games that nobody cares about. So I will not bore you with my recommendations and my consumptions of the month.
Isn't consumption an illness?
Isn't that just alcoholism?
I thought consumption was another word for tuberculosis.
You're another word for tuberculosis.
Okay.
Anyways, next month, it's October.
Ooh,
It's spooky
season.
So we're reading a horror book. We are reading Nosferatu by Joel Hill.
Joe Hill.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Joel.
Joel Hill.
Okay.
Joel Hill. Here he is, Joel Hill. And that is spelled N-O-S for the letter A, the number 2.
It's on a license plate.
Yeah, that's the point. There's some creepy guy named Charles Talent Manx. On the back of the book, it says he likes to take children for rides.
In his car with that license plate.
There's also a girl who can teleport. And we chose it because it was rated well, and we both recognize the name Nosferatu.
Because vampire movie.
Yeah.
We like vampires.
I love vampires. I want to be a vampire. Maybe I'll be a vampire by the time this next episode comes out. That'd be awesome.
So join us.
Yeah.
Next month to find out what on earth Nosferatu is about and to see whether we liked it.
It does seem like your standard kind of someone's gone missing and they got to investigate it, but it's horror this time.
Mm-hmm. It's a New York Times bestseller, which means nothing.
That everything is. Okay, bye!
Bye!